Troll, 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 troll.
Hey everybody, welcome to Streamer and Troll, where our topic today is, so you're a streamer now. Are you winning, son?
Yay!
Let's go! Hey everybody, welcome. Get into episode, season 2, episode 4. So you're a streamer now. Are you winning, son? Again, welcome to Streamer and Troll. It is it's a podcast that 3 great friends have put together. I'm Zealous Mark 2.
I'm Sidious67.
I'm Des.
And today, again, like I said, we're gonna be talking about some of the items, or let's just be direct about it. We're actually gonna be talking about branding. You started streaming, you got your camera, you got a micro, maybe or maybe not, you have a camera, but you got a microphone, you've got your games, you've got your topics that you hang out, maybe you do just chatting, whatever have you. But there are some questions to really push your streaming to the next level that need to be asked, such as, really, you know who you are, but what's your brand? What are you doing on stream? What are you going to focus on? Where are you going to go? And that's what we're going to be talking about today.
What
before
makes
we do that,
you
though,
you, and what identifies you?
Exactly.
Yes.
Or as we got a topic later on, what sets you out from other streamers? What do you really want to focus on to push yourself and really define yourself in the streaming marketplace? Before we do that, though, again, we got some official introductions to go again. So let's start with official introductions. Let's go with that. Sid, buddy, how's the week been treating you?
Hi. Well, no, I mean, this past week was pretty hectic for me. Just hanging in there. Was pulled a couple of long-term shifts.
There was a couple days you were almost 24 hours, weren't you?
Close to it. I mean, but we're getting it done. So that's why I haven't been streaming this entire week. This week I've been trying to recharge this weekend. So I may be back later today. But yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm good.
Okay. Des, what about yourself? It's been 2 weeks since our last show, hasn't it?
Since the last show, I've been witness to at least 3 fights in the school I work at.
Jesus.
Crowning achievements.
One of the glorious parts of working in an urban school environment. Although this past week, the last few days at the end of the week, was pretty decent. The biggest issue was a particularly unruly class who was so bad that the next day a teacher offered to swap me for one of my coverage hours.
Oh, wow.
I wouldn't have to deal with them.
Wow.
Oh, wow. But wouldn't that just mean they won?
No. They got to deal with a man 2 feet taller than myself and much broader. So they did not win.
Chat for those of y'all who may be watching this on YouTube or maybe listening to this on your podcast channel of choice. We had Ray Frost, one of our friends, put into chat hashtag Stop the Fight Club, which probably needs to happen inside the school.
Of course, the first rule is never to talk about Fight Club. So
exactly. You can't talk about it. You can't stop it. I don't know. You're just in a rock and a hard place, I guess. Yeah,
we don't talk about Fight Club.
No,
we don't talk about Fight Club. It was an early
for-
school day. No bullies in the sight. Sorry.
That's all right. It's all right. For myself, my insane amount of travel from the past 6 months has finally seems to have hit a peter out, a nice little lull in the travel. So I've been home all week, streamed a couple times, trying to, get back into the swing at work. 6 weeks of almost near constant travel is kind of tough when you get back into the real world and you're like, what do you mean breakfast isn't ready? I mean, when I was at my hotel, breakfast was ready every morning. Oh my gosh. I gotta wash my own towels? What kind of world is this? Yeah, I know, first world problems.
Is that when you drop to your knees, you raise your fist to the sky, and you go, La Quinta! Helton, or
Nah.
Rosen, or wherever you stayed at. I don't know.
No, La Quinta, no. It's more I wake up in the morning and like my bed rises me up like Darth Vader, and it's just no. Half cow bleeding, half shattering of my heart. But no, it's interesting getting back into the swing of things, getting back into my actual place of business, in a way that I'm here more than just 2 days and then off somewhere else. So it's been kind of interesting. I should be streaming like you. I should be streaming a bit more over this next week and a half before another job.
Yeah.
The good news is, or maybe it's bad news, I don't know. Now that I think about it, if my job is on the 30th and I stay an extra day or so to visit Des, that might put me home pretty close to Streamer and Troll. Or I'd have to time it where I make sure I get home in time. But either way, we'll make it work, I'm sure.
Don't stress out about it. We'll make sure we'll get it to work. I mean, if not, then we can just postpone. It's fine.
Yeah.
No
Okay.
big deal. Don't stress over it.
All right. So, topic at hand. Topic at hand is one that I'm pretty passionate about. And in retrospect of putting together the notes and some of the questions and guidance for this episode, talking about branding, something that influences almost every decision that I make at work is what we're going to do. Is this promotion we're doing going to fit into my company's brand, or is this going to be something outside the realm of what I think we should be doing? And it's something that in me being completely brutally honest, I haven't thought about for my stream, like my personal stream, since probably 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it really has been 2 to 3 years. Part of it was 2019. I was really involved in Twitch Sings.
Mm-hmm.
That played a large part of the brand that I had put together for myself.
It's how most of us met each other as well.
Yeah. And it ended up when it was gone, I was really left kind of directionless. I mean, I had some things that I'd been doing previously, but going back and looking at some of those things, like American Truck Simulator, Mother Truckin' Tuesday, as I used to call it, just didn't seem to feel right or fit into, where I was and what I wanted to play. So since then, most of my streaming has been very disjointed. It's been a mix of IRL, just chatting when hotels have enough internet bandwidth for me to do anything, which is relatively rare when I'm traveling. And also, just the fact of, 2021, 2022 have been so incredibly busy at work that I just haven't put the time in to think of, hey, what should I do while streaming? If you operate like that, then it's kind of, you're just throwing darts.
Mm-hmm.
You're throwing darts. If you don't know, like, hey, who am I going to be while I stream? Answer to that question is, you want to be yourself. You want to be very authentic. You don't want to put on a fake face because people will end up seeing past it, seeing through it. At the same time, though, do you want to be the rage version of you? Like you get very angry when you play games and that's entertaining to others? Do you want to be the happy version of you? Where do you want to be? How do you want to portray yourself? Because you're the actor in your own TV show. You're the main character in your own movie. Sure, you might be playing games, you might be doing IRL, you might be doing anything you could possibly do on Twitch. But if you don't take some of that time in consideration to really narrow down kind of who you are, then you can end up running into problems like I'm personally having of, okay, I'm streaming and I'm turning the camera on, but I don't know why I'm streaming other than I like talking to people in chat. There has to be more to it than that to really help push and guide you to the next level of where you want to go on Twitch or even in your personal life, personal business. So that's going to be the primary push of our discussion today. Normally we try to get as much as we can done in the first hour. I kind of feel that this discussion, because I think all three of us are planning on giving some of our own thoughts and insights as we go through talking about branding. And we're just going to let this one kind of go as it is. Take a break after the first hour. And if we've covered all the topics, we'll just use our normal hangout discussion about, what's personally interesting for us. If not, we'll just come back on topic and go for there. So how it all is going to play out, we're going to kind of play it by ear. So, you guys ready to get going?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
I want a nap.
You want a nap? Jeez.
All right, guys, we're gonna take a break for about an hour and a half. Des has got a nap.
Yeah, it's nappy time. All right. So so some of this stuff, again, I hope you guys are willing to open and share. I know when I was putting this together, there were definitely some points, thoughts, and questions I had that were very visceral to me, that made me realize like how much I had let some of the plans and positioning I used to have on my stream just kind of go by the wayside, and really made me start want to rethink, what can I do to get better at streaming. Every sub, Des just put in chat. Des does a nap stream for every sub. Des naps an extra 10 minutes. I like it. I like it. All right. Branding. So one of the first questions that you're going to ask, and I'll give this in streamer term, and then I'll also give it in some business term to help clarify the question some.
Okay.
Is, first off, what is branding to you? And then how does branding apply to the streamer? For this, I'll just use a business example of, let's just take a common beverage, Coke. What is Coke? Coca-Cola. Or that's water. That water comes later. Water comes later.
My bad.
Oh no! You see our secrets. Oh no! You see our secret shame.
Sorry, I didn't realize it was so detrimental. I thought it was just like, okay, here's a reference. Branding. Here you go.
No.
My
that
bad.
one comes down to what sets us apart.
Okay.
Is where that picture comes
Later
into play.
discussion.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm a
it's fine. I
professional.
love it.
Don't worry.
I love it. But no, so like Coke, Coke or Pepsi, it's a really good question. What is Coke to people? Coke is, it's a carbonated beverage. It tastes, for those of y'all who don't know, it's supposed to take like the cola nut plant. But for most people, it tastes like brown food coloring and a lot of sugar.
Well, so then the analogy gets really interesting, though, if we're going to talk about a soda in terms of our streaming identity, because I immediately am thinking about how Coca-Cola is intimately tied into our sensory memories of if you've went out to eat a lot as a kid with your family, you're going to remember maybe McDonald's or playtime at those restaurants and the playgrounds. You're going to tie it into a lot of things. And it's that same way I can see how that ties really deeply into the streaming analogy, because then you have to just figure out, where do I tie myself in? What are people instantly going to think about? like me when they're thinking about something else. Maybe that's the game you play regularly or something. So I'm just sorry about that tangent.
No,
That-
jump
well,
in.
another
jump in.
another tangent is like I was just thinking is like I know so much more about I don't drink Coke personally, but I like Pepsi better. But
Right.
but come to think of it, as far as branding, Coke does way more branding than Pepsi.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got, especially during the holidays, like the Coca-Cola Santa Claus drinking Coca-Cola, the Coca-Cola. Oh, wait, no, the polar bears Pepsi or the Coke? No, they're Coke.
No, polar bears are
Polar,
Coke.
the
Yeah.
polar bears are Coke. I mean, there's a lot of Coke commercials out there, but I can't think of a Pepsi commercial.
Well, there could be interesting parts of that. With Coke, one thing that they've really made a push on, especially during the holidays, is trying to tie in through their advertising, trying to tie into the family aspect.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the polar bears are a whole family that comes together. You know, Santa Claus is roughly, you know, nowadays what's, you know, wholesome about Christmas. You know, it's you know, the family, the jolliness, the fun,
the family, the atmosphere, and the Coke.
and the Coke. You just drink it up.
Yes.
Pepsi though has always had a different marketing plan, and I'm not going to go too deep into this because I feel like we might get way too off topic. But it does illustrate the point where their branding is different.
Yes.
Pepsi has really always tried with their commercial and branding for Pepsi to really push being youthful, being fun, being, you know, like in the 90s, it like every Pepsi commercial had some form of like dancing, break dancing, modern art. It was always marketing and pushing itself as the cool drink. The thing is, somewhere around about the 2000s, they realized they had a product that was selling infinitely better, and that's where they started with Mountain Dew. So Pepsi has really pushed more of their marketing material into Mountain Dew and its various products than it has Pepsi.
And their 23 energy drinks.
Yeah. I mean, and again, the reason is that's where the money is in that market is energy drinks.
So
that's the only market that's growing.
Energy drinks.
Traditional sodas as an industry, and I'm tied into this from my bowling center, but industry as a sodas as an industry is contracted so much just because people inherently know that sodas are bad for you. And but energy drinks, people are drinking the hell out of those. And true, yes, Titch, Coke has been around a lot longer than Pepsi.
Oh, absolutely.
So, but either way, but those are great illustrations of pure product. Instantly, all three of us have a different impression of what those products are. We have a different impression of what they mean to us and what, you know, what sort of emotions they trigger in us. And part of that reason is because they are very focused on what their brand is, what their message is, that when you come out, you can really, you know what you're getting when you get a Coke or a Pepsi. And that, like I said, if you're a streamer, and I've talked before about there being, you know, roughly two different paths of streaming. There's a very casual, I'm doing it for fun. Whoever shows up, shows up. But if your aim is growth and you really want to expand your channel, then you really need to start sitting down, if you haven't, and try to think about what your brand is. What are you, you know, who are you while streaming? What do you want to represent? What do you bring to the table that is going to make people want to watch you? I know Des, for her daytime art streams, her brand is very family friendly, and really pushes to make sure that stays where it is. Unlike her late night streams, Des After Dark, which is available only on Twitch. It's not anywhere else. Don't worry, we make fun of it. It's such a funny phrase. I think it has some great branding on it anyway. But those are more fun. Usually it's a number of other streamers are co-opting a vampire survival game, and or dwarfs, or a diggy holes, whatever you want to call.
Or zombies.
Yeah, or zombie. Yeah.
So typically, unless I'm playing with like one specific friend of ours, I can be guaranteed that whoever I'm going to play with is going to bring an amount of unfamily friendliness to the stream. And so
I'm sorry.
Whenever I stream in the evening with friends, I always make sure to turn on the My Mature filter. I think it's really important to consider this when you're streaming. Are you a channel that is family friendly, or are you a channel who needs to keep that mature like content switch flipped because people are going to come in and say whatever they want?
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And that's neither's good. Like, I'm not making a value judgment on either option. It's simply I think it's something to consider, especially before you hit live for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
What are your goals?
Titchery in chat has just made a very interesting point.
Death's after dark, but no later than 10 p.m. because Death's gotta sleep.
Exactly. Sid, you got any thoughts? Anything that you want to bring in there
About Des?
Yeah, about Death's After Dark and how and what the difference. No, I'm kidding.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, myself, I guess. I mean, I guess I've gone through many different brands trying to find one that fits me over the past few years of doing this. Originally, I mean, when I first started out, and I don't think you guys know this, but when I first started out, I actually kind of embraced the whole Star Wars aspect of it, and I had a whole I did my own. I've done my own logoing, and ever since then, as far as my name and logo brand, and it's changed throughout the years as well. And it's going from like novice to better. I wouldn't say professional, because I'm not, you never get to fully professional really, unless you're constantly being paid for it. But But in the beginning, I did start out with the whole Star Wars things. I actually, every time I had a sub, I had the Imperial March in dubstep format play. And I actually had a picture of Darth Vader dancing to dubstep. And it was like my most favorite thing I ever had. I still love it, and I still have it in my archives. I'll have to pull it out someday and show you guys. It was hilarious. But yeah, and that was the whole thing. And then I transitioned from there. I did that for a long time. And I transitioned into, once Sea of Thieves came out, I transitioned into the whole Pirate Sid, trying to get away from that whole Star Trek, similarity thing. Star Wars. Excuse me, I'm going to be crucified now. Star Wars similarity thing with my name, even though my name kind of, people associate my name more with Star Wars than Virtuosity than anything else. And then I did the whole pirate thing. So in my whole niche with the pirate thing was I did Sea of Thieves for a long time. I dressed as a pirate. We sang every time there was a sub. I sang shanties. And then
I remember that.
Yeah. and then Twitch Sings hit. And that was the next niche. And I was like, this is actually really good, because Sea of Thieves took the game itself took such a long time to actually progress and be more interesting that I me, I have video game ADD. I dropped out of it, right? So the whole singing thing came into the whole thing, and then the Crooners Club was born, and then that's where we're at right now, is the Crooners Club. But yeah, and my logo here has changed several times. But I mean, I think the kind of the S has kind of stayed similar, not the same. I can't say the same, but it's similar. But yeah, back in the Star Wars genre, it was Sid's Games, and I had the logo of S&G, and that was my branding. And after a while, it was like, why is it Sid's Games? Like, no one really associates Sid's Games. It's just Sidious or Sid. So I just kind of dropped the games, and it's now just the S now. So from what we have now.
Okay. I know my branding is in some ways I would say is lacking from everyone else's. I don't have a logo other than my emotes of Trollios. What I really did when I first got started, because I really did think quite a bit about what I wanted to do when I get started. Why should people watch? One, of course, was the Hawaiian shirts, just something visually that people could instantly put an item that was recognizable to me. Like Sid, you have your cap. For me, it was my Hawaiian shirts. Des, it's Des.
Yes.
But I really, again, so I put a lot of thought when I got started into that, and I wanted to put a.
I'm sorry to interrupt here. Actually, Des does have a catchphrase, and it's "I'm Des."
I'm Des.
Hi, I'm Des. She says that all the time. So I mean, that's true.
On purpose.
True.
It's a habit now, but I started that on purpose.
Yeah,
Sticks in your head.
it does. It does.
It does.
I picked it. That was a purposeful choice on my part for networking purposes.
And that's the only way I want to greet you is "Hi, I'm Des."
I'm Des.
Exactly. Then the answer is usually no. I'm Des. But yeah, hashtag catchphrase.
Catchphrase.
Which has a catchphrase. It's a pretty cool catchphrase. Anyway. But yeah, I started out just like I said, I wanted to be, as friendly and nice and kind as I possibly could, be very encouraging to other people. And over time, I've been, worn down into a hateful goblin. I mean, no. I still try to do my best. I still try to do my best to be positive, to try to let people talk through things, be kind, all that kind of good stuff. But it definitely, as far as like before me being a variety streamer, I had themed out the days that I was going to stream to be, specific, like, like I said, Mother Truckin' Tuesday. I think it was like a Fantasy Game Monday. Each day that I was going to stream, I had a theme planned out so that I thought of it like a TV channel. Like, hey, I want to have different programming every day because, like Sid, I've got video game ADD in a bad way, really bad way.
I think you've got it worse than I do, honestly. I hate to say it.
But I thought, hey, this is really going to be cool. Like everyone else, though, we're people, we're human, we change. And with time, that branding needs to be changed. I ended up starting to feel really trapped in that daily schedule because I got to points where I was like, I'm trying to stream like 4 to 5 days a night, a week. And with job number one, that's just emotionally not an option. There's a lot of stress, there's a lot of worry, there's a lot of activity that goes on, and my streaming schedule can be interrupted at any time because of work. Once I started traveling, it got even more restricted and controlled. So I ended up at a point that, like I said, that's why I'm at where I personally am at today, where all my branding is just non-existent. And I haven't thought about it in like 2 to 3 years. And this one really hit home, and I had to ask myself some really tough questions while we were going through this of like, where's my brand? What am I doing? So let's go ahead. We've all kind of shared our story of branding. And again, chat, if you have any questions, any thoughts, anything you want to know, by all means, put it in chat. We will answer your questions live here on Twitch. Of course, always feedback and input is welcomed at any time. So under the topic of branding, what is it? How does it apply to streamer? One of the first questions we've asked, we didn't dig into it too much, but like, again, like, who am I when I'm streaming? When I'm streaming, my ideal, what I usually have in my head is I want to take my baseline energy, which is for me is usually, I would say, around about a 7 or 8. Sid and Des have both met me in real life. I'm maybe just 1 notch, maybe 2 notch turned down from energy wise from what I am on stream.
Oh yeah, in real life you're like a 2.
So you say my stream's a 4.
Your stream's actually like a 7 or 8, and then you knock it down to a 2.
It takes a lot, but again, it's energy wise. Me being willing to say and do dumb shit though is pretty on par with who I am. The second part too of it is also, what traits do you want to shine a spotlight on? Those things like me having, boisterous reactions, a loud laugh, just generally willing to kind of accept what's happening and go with the flow, are things that are naturally kind of how I handle and how I live my life. So I try to make sure when I'm streaming that those parts of me that I think are good and entertaining and fun, I try to make sure that I again turn those up a little bit louder than they are in real life. Not selling a false impression to me or a false version of me, but something that's definitely that I definitely try to put on emphasis during stream.
Right, you're who you are, but you're not. To follow up on that as well, I know that I'm personally not in the middle of the stream expanding on my woes, my anxieties, my difficulties, right? Like I'm not sitting there as the anxious puddle that some of my friends know me to be off stream at times, because I have a lot of things coming up in my life, and so I'm just like, oh, what if this doesn't work out? What if this doesn't work out? How am I gonna get past this? So on stream, I emphasize the parts of me that are, I love making art, I love playing games with my friends, I love making stupid jokes, much like many a streamer before me.
Making life-size printouts of their faces, and
That's still one of the best moments.
Still my best prank.
I'm sorry, I know I keep bringing up some, like, you know, inside jokes and stuff like that, but yeah, Des one time made a full printout of my face and wore it on stream. And it was funny and creepy at the same time.
Before we were friends.
It was
Zealous had just introduced me as like we just barely spoken, Sid and I. And so I was like, Zealous, do you think it'd be funny if I did this thing? Because this was in the times of Twitch Sings.
Yeah.
And so I decided to print out Sid's face and I wore it during a duet with Sid.
So just the key here, she didn't wear it. The first idea was to like cut holes in the eyes and wear it like a mask taped to her face.
That would have been like, super creepy.
I was like, that's too much. You just need to put it on a stick. You just need to put it on a stick and hold it in front of your face.
That could have been your branding.
I was like, taping it to your face, that's a little bit too murder hobo. We don't want to go there. We don't want to go to Murder Town.
I got flashes of like The Office with Dwight with the CPR dummy's face on it. Anyways.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with branding. Just a thing I did.
Sid, what about yourself? What do you think about, what do you really try to emphasize about your personality while you're streaming?
Honestly, I just try to be as true to myself as I am in real life.
Okay.
What you see is what you get. I mean, we've hung out a lot too, and I don't think my personality changes too much on stream. Yeah, when I first start to stream, I'm a little bit more hyped. But again, that's me. Right. I'm excited. Yeah. I'm hyped. I'm like, let's go. Let's do this. Yeah. And then we kind of get like, especially when I'm listening to some good music, I get in a little bit of a DJ mode. But I mean, that's me. That's just, I don't think I try to put any kind of fake face on stream. Okay. And I feel I'm very, very committed to Wuzzywug. What you see is what you get.
Okay.
And that's how I live my life and live my stream.
I think IRL there might be a little less singing in public than there is on stream.
Yes, I don't know.
That's who I am in real life too.
Nobody knows at work that I actually sing.
Okay.
And I'm actually okay. So I do have a little bit of social anxiety.
Right.
When I'm out in public, not behind the camera and stuff, I am a little bit more reserved. I'm not as outgoing as I seem in stream, and that's not because I'm putting on a different face. It's just because I'm more comfortable behind the camera doing stream. I'm more comfortable with basically a microphone in front of my face. Does that include Nick? A little bit, not 100%, because I've gotten to know Nick a lot more, and we associate more and we hang out too. So I'm a little bit more comfortable with Nick Bullets. But like at work itself, I'm more reserved. They don't they don't associate with the likes of internet dwellers.
Well, I was
Yeah.
gonna say a kinder way to put it is at work. The scales or the what you guys are doing have a lot higher stakes
True.
than streaming does. I mean, you work in the medical field. You kind of got to be on point and on your game for what's going on.
That's true about 50% of the time. The other percent of the time, because we work in neurosurgery, we're a little bit crazy. They are absolutely nuts. I mean, don't get me wrong. They're 100%. There is a professional side, and they do their job very, very well on the professional side. But
right,
just in the atmosphere and the subject, the genre of neurosurgery alone, you have to be a little bit nuts. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just and that's just how it is. There is a lot of things that goes on that are said in neurosurgery that you can't say anywhere else in any other job, or you'd get HR department really on you really fast.
So what I'm hearing is whenever I go in for brain surgery, I need to accept that I'm being worked on by a mad scientist.
No, not a mad scientist, just a guy who every once in a while has a twinge of craziness and a weird twisted sense of humor. How about that?
Okay.
So just a small taste. When we're doing operations and surgeries and surgeries and stuff like cases, we have to have a very strict count of every instrument on the table, right?
Right.
And they actually do a count. They say, we have three syringes. I have, 4 knives, and it's even more detailed than that, because they say it by name, right? The actual brand name of each instrument and stuff like that. So it's very, very down to the minute detail of what's on the table. If the count is off, surgery cannot end until we find that count, because that means either it's missing or it's inside the patient, right?
Right.
So that's the reason why we do the count. I do have a doctor that every now and then, if he's in the mood, towards the end of the surgery, will hide a Raytech. And a Raytech is basically a piece of gauze that they use to soak up excess blood while they're doing surgery. So it's just it's like a 4x4 Raytech. He'll just crumple it up in his hand and just watch the chaos ensue. like literally just step back. That is the craziness that we have. The insaneness that, just for fun, it's a joke. He'll hide it, and he'll just pretend to go, all right. This is the surgeon now, by the way. This is not just a regular employee. This is a surgeon. And he'll just like, okay, we're all done. I'm going to close up here. Go ahead. They'll do his count. He'll break scrub, have the Raytech in his glove, and walk out of the room. And he'll let us sit there like for 15 minutes going, oh my God, our count is off. Our count is off. Call the doctor. We need the doctor back in here. We need to open up the patient again. What's going on? And he'll be sitting outside by the window, just like laughing his ass off. So that's a little bit.
They're losing their minds.
Oh yeah, it's work hostility. It's what it is.
So where were we? Oh yeah, so we're asking again. Who do I want to be? Well, sure. No, I found it to be a fascinating discussion, and I'm just thinking I hope the doctor doesn't get paid for the extra time.
No,
of people looking for this.
He gets paid by the case. No, he doesn't get paid by time.
Okay. The second, so the question was, who am I while streaming? Who do I want to be? Do I want to amp up certain parts? Do I want to focus? Is it just this is who I am? Where do you want to be? Is one of the first questions you got to ask. Second question, and it's pretty important. Again, comes down to what do I bring to the table? What do I bring to the table? Why would somebody, why should somebody want to watch me? So what I mean by this is it comes down to your personal skill sets. Are you funny? Can you tell jokes? Are you really good at games? do you find yourself in like the top 10%
What
of a
is
game?
your
if you're gonna-
niche?
Yeah, exactly. What's your niche? Do you want your specialization to be you come into a game blind and you take people on a journey of getting better at that game? I've mentioned before, there are people who are rage streamers. XQC is probably one of them. I mean, that's part of his stream is the rage he goes into when he's playing games. Or do you want to go the opposite direction and just want to bring a level of zen to no matter what kind of adversity you're having in game? Same thing. If you're doing just chatting, what topics do you want to just chat about? What do if you're streaming, do you want to become an expert on game news? What's happening in the industry? Do you want to talk about that? Is that something you enjoy doing?
Do you want to be a
And if so,
podcast?
Yeah. Do you want to be a podcast? Again, it's really, what do you bring to the table skill wise that you can bring and have it be part of stream? And that's one of the toughest questions they ask, because again, you're really sitting down and asking yourself, what do I know how to do? Sure, you can turn the camera on and just play whatever you want, but really identifying those parts of yourself, those skills that you bring to the table, can really help you take you to the next level.
I
really
like the
interesting.
question. I just got
Yeah, go for it.
asked, and so I want to interrupt the train
Sure,
of thought.
sure.
I think this is a cool question for us to answer. Mama Dragon asks, has there ever been a time when you felt completely out of sync with a brand you had made for yourself? So, I know
start?
I had.
So do you want to start with that one?
I can.
Me?
Yeah, sure. No, Des.
Oh, Des. Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you said me. I was like,
I know
no.
personally, I started my internet identity career, if you will, with a number of monikers, as we all do in middle school. Coming up with our edgelord crap. But for even a few years after high school, I was using one name for myself, and it never quite fit what I thought I was going for, but I didn't have a reason to change my main username for stuff. And so, like it or not, when we choose a username we use consistently across platforms, it's the beginnings of a brand in many ways. It's the beginnings of getting yourself tied to this particular name or phrase or whatever it is. And so I recall I was using my French class name, Raphael, and it just doesn't fit with anything I've done for myself. And I for a bit with Twitch, I played around with calling myself Tiny Mouse Gaming, which I thought would have been cute, but didn't quite feel right. So I'm gonna say yes, I have felt out of sync, but that's where you've got to be willing to change. You can't. On the one hand, there's a sunk cost fallacy that's easy to get stuck inside of, right? I've already invested time and energy or money into this particular version of myself online,
Right.
so I got to stick with it. This is my brand. I have to just stick with it because I've already invested this, and that's the gambler's fallacy almost, right? Because I've already sunk this much. I've got to keep going. And at some point, you just got to be able to look at something as like, this isn't working. And like any good business owner knows that if something's not working, sometimes you got to find a new thing that works.
Yeah. And also be aware of those things where you're like, yeah, people aren't going to be interested in this. We'll give it a try. And be open enough to be like, holy crap, that thing is succeeding really well. Okay, let's rewrite the plan. Let's lean into this.
Mm-hmm.
Sid, did you want to share some thoughts on that question?
Have I ever? Was there a time that I ever felt completely out of sync of a brand? So I don't think I've ever felt out of sync, but I mean, definitely there was a need to evolve the brand. And basically, it's more so it's kind of like finding yourself. In a sense, it's like some things you think that are cool in the beginning don't really work out as you mature and understand the world a little bit better, right? So, I mean, for me, starting on the internet, the very first thing I ever did was RPG on AOL. You know, when AOL, when internet first came out, there was two things, NetZero and AOL. And AOL, there was a lot of RPG stuff on called Red Dragon Inn, which is where I originally met my lovely wife, Titchery. Hello, Titch. And my name was derived, my online name was derived originally, it was Leroy Garnier. And that's, everyone knew me as Leroy Garnier. And Leroy Garnier originally was a combination of the two figures that originally, well, Leroy was the original person who wrote The Phantom of the Opera. And Garnier was, I believe, the first one to publicly publish Phantom of the Opera. So I was like, hey, I loved Phantom of the Opera at the time, so I combined those two names. As the internet grew and gaming became more of a thing, I was in what was it? CS, Counter-Strike, before it was called Counter-Strike Go, back when it was before on Steam. Steam didn't exist. It was called GameSpy, and you could cheat like hell on Counter-Strike. I changed my name to Neo, and this was before the Matrix. And then from Neo, it became Sid 6.7 from the movie Virtuosity, not Star Wars at the time, because I wasn't even thinking about Star Wars. I wasn't even a huge Star Wars fan at the time. And it was Sid 6.7 because the internet evolved in the practice that you couldn't use 3-letter words or special characters. It became Sidious 6.7. So it was just a force. It wasn't that I wasn't out of sync with my brand of naming myself and making a name for myself. It was more of having to evolve to be a more fluid state of a brand. So people, and also Sidious, it kind of worked out for me for Sidious, because it's actually more of a natural name if someone calls me Sid out in public, right? Sid is not my real name. It is, I have to admit, Zealous, it is a little strange when we were palling around. Des is very, very normal as well, so that didn't bother me as much. But sometimes when we're in public, I go, "Hey, Zealous," and I just like subconsciously I look around like, it's just like, what type of name is Zealous if I'm calling you out, right? You know, instead of your real name, right?
I mean, fair enough.
I mean, this is the way we are. We've branded ourselves so much that we call each other by our screen names out in public, and we're still branding even when we're just doing personal shit. Stuff.
It's okay. We're not on Des's stream.
I'm sorry.
Daytime Des.
Let me.
Oh, that's a good name too. Daytime Des.
We'll
That's such a good name.
We'll edit that out and let me redo that. You know, when we're doing personal and you know, and it's become that thing. It's like it's actually, it's such a blurred line that Titchery and I literally call ourselves Sid and Titch at home when we're not on stream. We literally yell across the house, "Titch!" and she'll yell, you know, "Sid!" You know, yeah. There we go.
I mean, that's
so. I mean, it's very. It's never really been out of sync of that. It's more, like I said, like a personal way of finding our own self and growing within that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Well, that's honestly Kep and I too.
Yeah,
is we often will go back and forth between going with our real names.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever told anyone my original AOL name before until just now. So yeah.
Let's see. And then my answer to the question of, has there ever been a time when you felt completely out of sync with your brand you had made for yourself? I would say, Mama Dragon, the answer is yes. I felt that way in personal life. I felt that way with my my business, and I have felt that way with my streaming as well. Like I said, currently right now, and going through these questions, you brought up, like, do you ever feel out of brand? And the answer is yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. As far as the name Zelos, I originally tried to go with my long-standing handle on previous internets, which was Swanky Hank. Was the original name I used on the internet forever and a day, but Twitch flagged it. Twitch flagged the name as inappropriate, and I had to go with a backup name I'd been using for years, which is Zelos Mark II. Zelos is my favorite character from an anime named Slayers, and the Mark II is there because some son of a bitch always has Zelos first. They've always got Zelos first. It's been less these days as I've gotten older, so maybe that bastard has died of old age. But here in the near future, as far as Twitch goes, sorry, I'm cursing a lot just because I found like those ideas of like me being super bitter about everything funny. But no, the big point I have coming up though is I do have some things in the work that are going to be a major brand shift when it comes down to Twitch. I plan to move more towards VTubing. And at which point I'll probably stop using Zelos Mark II and just go with pure Trollios as a name to match my troll character. Des hates the idea. She's so angry. I see her shaking her head. Sid hates it too.
I don't like Trollios as the name. I like Trollios as a thing. That's your race. Trollios is your race.
Yeah, you're a Trollios.
A Trollios. Zealous is your name. Trollios is your race.
My God,
There's
Kage
your lore.
Shukun in chat. He says you either die a Mark II or live long enough to become Zelos. Damn it. I hope that I hope that answered your question, Mama, and gave you some different perspectives.
You know, if you do change your name, if you do change your name to Trollios, I'm going to continue to call you Zealous.
That's fine. We'd have to figure something out in the long run, but I mean that'll work. That'll work for now. It's a pronoun of sorts, not a name. I don't know. Maybe I keep it the same.
I think your fan base is going to mutiny Zealous.
They might. It looks like there's some mutiny being planned right now. Oh my God.
So that time about being a brand and being out of sync, this would be that time.
Yeah.
He will become out of sync the moment he tries to transition.
Right. All right. So again, we talked about, let's getting back on topic. I think we can clear through the last couple ones here before we get to our break, or maybe we'll be a little bit late to the break, but I think that'll be all right.
The way.
It's our rules, whatever.
Yeah.
It's our stream.
So we had, what do we bring to the table that make people want to watch? Did y'all have anything you wanted to share on there of like the process that you went through, saying like skill wise, what you bring to the table, what things that you really have thought about focusing on and making stand out on stream, or do we want to just get clear through to the next topic?
Well, I mean,
Des has art.
Des has beautiful art. Myself as I'd love to focus on it, but it's considered illegal on Twitch. So I mean, karaoke is not really something that they smile upon. But
no, that wasn't what I was thinking. Okay.
no hardcore drugs. Sorry. But yeah, I would love to be more focused on singing, but it's not really. It's frowned upon here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, copyrights, man. Oof. They're
gotta
no fun.
love them. No, I don't.
You gotta love them. Des, did you have anything?
So when I think about it, I think that the things I thought were going to be a draw tend to not be the thing it seems people focus on. Does that make sense?
Okay.
They're things that I enjoy incorporating in my stream, but what
like
I don't know how to say this other than it just seems to be that people watch me because I'm generally friendly. Like that just seems to be the only reason people watch me, because I get I have no viewership changes between whether I'm doing art, whether I'm playing video games with people, whether I'm doing a just chatting stream. Like it just seems to be that the people who watch me watch Des for the heck of it.
So this is something we'll get into probably after the break, but I'll just ask you the question right now because it seems relevant. how are you pushing out that you're streaming on other social media? Are you doing anything else to really push
Yeah,
out?
so especially when I have an art focused stream, I do try to give people a heads up. Hey, I'm gonna be working on this. If you want to come watch, this is what we're gonna be doing. I've also in the past really tried to revamp the idea of a paint along, like let's paint together, and trying to share like reference photos I intend to use. That's have seen some success because I do have viewers who seem to enjoy the idea of like we're gonna paint together. Yeah,
Right.
let's do this
Right.
together and hang out. I think people enjoy that camaraderie and the
hmm
opportunity to kind of feel like you're doing something with someone else, even though there's distance between us.
hmm hmm
Um, I do little to no advertising when I plan to game and stream because I don't plan to game and stream. It just
Yeah,
happens.
just happens.
And yet it's my best numbers.
But yeah, I think that's something we can talk a little bit later on because there is a very good question, like I said, a very good spot later on that I have on there where that's going to be part of the main focus is, once you've kind of established your brand, where do you go from there?
Yep.
Next question. Mama Dragon just recommended a Bob Ross and drink stream for Des. There you go. Next question we have, again, going on to branding, identifying what things really are important and to you, and identifying your brand and who you are are you really streaming the things that you love?
Mm.
Oftentimes, like I really love Twitch Sings. I really love Twitch Sings. It really came through. And part of the reason that I went to Twitch Sings is the branding I talked about, where I had Monday was fantasy, Tuesday was trucking, Wednesday was this. I was sometimes sticking to those things, even though I didn't love what I was playing or was barely interested in what I was playing, just to stay within those genres. And that ended up becoming a problem in the long run because I took a lot of time streaming things I didn't like. And if you're going to stream, the camera sees everything. So if you're not playing something you like, if you're not doing something you thoroughly enjoy, the camera's going to pick up on it. And if you're a no camera streamer, guess what? The microphone's going to pick up on it.
Mm-hmm.
Your show is going to be influenced by the fact that it's, if you're not having fun, if you're not having a good time, it really pulls through, in the show. Most recent example that we have with that is person was streaming. This person in the past, I really liked their content. I rated them. I had to do post-stream streams, so I didn't hear too much what was going on after the raid. But I got informed from some folks who were in chat that they started complaining about being raided, and I was like, really? That's wild. I was like, then why do you have raids turned on? You can turn off people's ability to raid you. It was just wild to me. It was interesting, and
That's weird.
That's a weird thing to complain
Because
about.
I mean, that's a support to your channel. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want support. Okay.
Yeah, I'm always incredibly flattered when someone decides to stream me because that means they think I'm good enough to send their audience to.
I mean,
Like,
whether
that's such a compliment.
whether it be 50 people or one person, streaming or rating. I mean, it's still. I mean, they took the time to think of it.
Yeah, exactly. They took a really, I don't know. Either way,
Well, that's a different subject.
well, I'll also throw in there, like, their channel used to be in the hundreds, like 3 or 4 years ago, and that particular night they were down to like 20, like they were down in the 20s. So I think they had to take a long break. We're coming back. Either way, but again, it comes down to, again, are you really loving what you're doing while you're on stream? Because again, it all gets picked up as part of the show. It all comes back out. And I think that's an important question to ask for your brand is you may want to play that new thing, or maybe you want to go and play something else one night, or maybe you feel forced, like stuck, that you have to do this thing. But you really gotta, for your brand, your channel, for how you're doing, you really need to make sure that's what you want to do, that it's really something you love. Because if it's not, it gets picked up very quickly. Sid, you guys have any insights, any thoughts?
Sorry, I need to keep up with my brand.
No, okay. Toblerone.
I have a couple of thoughts that were inspired by some of what we just discussed, but I think they'd be good for starting up once we get back from a bit of a stretch break.
Okay.
I'm gonna write it down before I forget.
That's a very good idea. I've got a pen for just such a thing. The last point of considering your brand, taking a look at it, and again, I really do recommend charting out. In fact, I think it may be good that we post at least the questions and not some of the guidance notes that we got. If we actually post the questions in Discord, I think would be a really good idea for today, so that they can, so that folks who are listening, if you want to have a little bit of an exercise, that you can take some of these questions and apply them to your own stream as well. Let's see. The last part of it said is that you really go through and again, be brutally honest. Really trim the fat from your answers. You know, as I think somewhere on here, I've got a note that the answers are yes or no. If you've got any questions, anything that you've listed out that you feel like it's a maybe, honestly, you need to decide, is that thing a yes or a no? There are no maybes in this, because you don't want to, I think somewhere else I have a note in here that basically said, you know, it's the old saying, you can't make everybody happy all the time. If you try to make everybody happy, all you end up doing is making nobody happy.
And most of all, yourself unhappy.
Yeah. So that's why, like I said, when I say really trim the fat on this, really get your answers clean, that's really important, because that's the last question you have to ask, is once you've answered these questions and you've gone through and figured, you know, who do you want to be? You know, what skills do I bring to the table? You know, am I going to stream what I really love? The last question is, you know, can I be consistent with everything I listed? Because Twitch, like I said, to get success on Twitch, it really is about consistency.
That's the main game.
If you're going to say, hey, I'm going to stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're going to need to come up with a schedule that makes sense. And once you have that schedule, again, the key is execute, have that schedule when people can expect to see you, and then execute on that brand to the best of your ability. Make that part of who you are. Make it, pick things that come naturally to you, so that you just turn the camera on and start streaming. But really, like I said, if you come up with a really big list and you're like, oh shit, there's like 15 things on here, I'm pretty sure that there's gonna be no consistency on. Trim them out. Be honest with yourself. Really, really shine a laser focus. I know it can be uncomfortable to do such a self-analysis, but a lot of times for survival and who you are and who you want to be, you really have to take those in-depth, tight shot views of yourself in answering this, and then ask the tough question, like, can I execute on this?
And that's, I think, a good place to take a break here.
I think it is too. It is too.
All right, guys, smoke them if you got them, or not. Smoking's bad for you.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'm not condoning smoking. I'm sorry. But yeah, we'll be right back in about.
Are we condemning smoking?
I will.
I will.
Sure.
Everybody, you guys live your life the way you want. For now, you got 10 minutes. Have fun.
Because it's dented.
We're live. I did say like 1 minute to go.
I'm taking it. Taking edge.
I think Des is totally like not even just so far gone. Is so enthralled with her harmonicas. Death
I
was
like the
playing
harmonica.
during the break. Death was enlightening us with her harmonicas.
Yeah, it was pretty
beautiful.
It was also interesting when she's like, "Oh yeah, this harmonica is just free balling. It's just." I was like, "What?"
Well, I got one harmonica that lives in a case on my desk, and then this one doesn't have a case.
It just goes wherever it wants.
Just lives on my desk.
And that,
doing
ladies
a
and
thing.
gentlemen, is her branding.
Yes.
Anyways, we're back.
We're back. Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Hey.
So we covered a lot of ground in the first half of the show. Traditionally, the second half is kind of a little bit more laid back, fun. Us just talking about what's interesting. We're probably gonna be a little bit more laid back when answering some of the next couple questions. We still got a few things to go through when it comes down to figuring out your brand, and we want to touch base on those before we just kind of start wrapping everything up. So we've gone through before the break. We answered questions like we answered some really serious questions of like who we are, what do we do, why do we stream. The next question we have though is, we have that list, and we talked about this briefly earlier, but really, out of all the stuff that we just compiled for ourselves, what makes us stand out from other streamers? Now is the time for the water, Sid. Bring us hydration.
I'm sorry, what?
Bring us the water.
Moisturize me.
What water? Oh, the one
The
that
water.
I closed that window.
Sir. The water which must hydrate our mind.
Wait, now? You want it now?
Yeah, now's the time. Now is the time for water. Now is the time for the liquid beverage that sustains our lives.
I literally thought I'm like, no, at first I thought you wanted me to like, okay, here's the water. Here you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, here, we're all going to take a sip of water. Oh. No. It was actually the picture of the water bottles. What a better visualization for streaming or YouTube or any other widget you might have in life. Like I've heard a lot since 2000 that, Twitch has so many streamers now. It's so crowded. YouTube, there's so many content creators. It's so crowded. It's how do you, what do you do? How do you stand out? Well, let's take a look at water for a second. Water's all around us. It comes out of our faucet. For gosh sakes, for those of us fortunate in the world to have working faucets, it comes out of the walls. You turn a nozzle, it comes out. Yet we have so many different brands of water.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it says it's mountain water. Some of it says it's purified. Some of it say it comes from municipal sources. If you get a water that says it comes from a municipal source, by the way, you're drinking tap water. But there's all different kind of waters, and they all try to make themselves stand out somehow. Some it's the bottle design. Some, it's brand name recognition. Some try to sound, that they come from far off places like Fiji water. There's brands like called Voss that I don't know what it means, but it comes in a really classy, bottle, like glass bottle. There's some there's some that you can get that are store brand, and it's up to you how much you feel like they really represent what you want to drink, what you want to do. Yeah, some are pH balanced. Some say spring water and taste of plastic. Exactly. Chat is throwing in their opinions on bottled water here. I love it.
Smart water with electrolytes.
Yeah. You know what electrolytes? They're what plants crave.
Oh, yes. Like in Gatorade.
Like movie reference. Sorry about that. Or Brondo. But yeah, so again, if you ever get to, at any point in your streaming life, you start sitting down and being like, oh my God, there's so much competition, so much crazy things that we have to deal with and fight against. remind yourself, this is important, critical, important step in humanity. We took a product that we can simply turn a knob in our house and have a nearly infinite supply to put into a glass and drink. Somebody somewhere figured out that they could put it in a plastic bottle and sell it to you for hundreds of times the price.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody figured that out. Same thing with Twitch. Even if there's so many people streaming on Twitch or online or various other avenues of content, there air. Now that's angry air. That's forceful air. Sid, sorry. Sid just put up, for those of y'all who don't have a screen, Sid just put up a picture of of canned air.
No, I didn't.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
What are you talking
Of
about?
canned air, and I'm like, that's angry air. You can't just get angry air.
I don't know what you're talking about. How are you seeing that?
I don't know. Where am I seeing?
Oh.
Yeah.
You're screen sharing with us.
Yep.
Stop,
so here's the thing.
Stop disputing the magic.
But here's the thing. Like I said, here's the thing is you can always find and take a look at those things about yourself, about what you're working on, about what you want to do by answering those previous questions. You know, what of those options that come up and in those answers come up can you really use to set yourself and differentiate yourself from the pack? And then, you know, the question after that comes down, how can you use those things? How can you bring them up to God damn you, Sid.
Stop it.
How do you, I don't think it's on stream yet,
Not yet.
but it should be soon.
I was about to.
But what can you use about those things? What can you take to really push it forward? And how can you utilize that in stream? How can you make that so much part of your branding, so much of what your stream is, and bring it to the forefront of your stream? And for those of y'all watching at home and talking about, like, you know, even better than branding water, we've got a picture from oh God, why did I just blank? Yeah, from Spaceballs, where President Scroob is breathing in a can of Perrier, which is Perry air. It's air. It's canned air. Someone's actually, no, people are already doing that. You can find that on Etsy and also on eBay. You can find canned air now, taken from the most pristine mountaintops. Only $80 a jar. Not kidding. It's something real. It's wow.
For anyone who's talked to me for any length of time, they tend to know that I like to beat analogies to death. So to push the analogy a little further and go back to something we referenced earlier, most people who talk to me for any length of time also know that I like to go, I'm Des, whenever appropriate or whenever inappropriate.
Mm-hmm.
This is just something that I do. And so in this analogy that we're using when we're talking about how to add distinction between you and a sea of like your mini contenders, I would say me saying I'm Des is like my bottle shape.
It's like the shape of the bottle.
It's the shape of the bottle of which I present a part of my brand in.
Well,
that makes sense.
If we're talking about bottle shape, I guess my hat would be my definition. Mm-hmm. There's been more than one occasion where there's a get together or we're at TwitchCon, and the first time I went to TwitchCon, which was in 2018,
mm-hmm.
I did not expect anyone to know who I am. I mean, I'm a small streamer, right? There's no reason why people should recognize me. I was walking along with a couple of friends, and this is before you and I, Zealous.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I literally heard my name being screamed across the campus of the TwitchCon in San Jose. And I literally stopped in my tracks. I'm like, who the heck is calling me of all people? And like they knew me from just seeing my hat walk by. Like it was a sea of people. It was literally a sea of people. And because I wear this hat 24/7, most of the time. And it's not because, it's for my branding. It's just something I do. I've always worn this. I've actually worn this hat longer than I've streamed. So literally there's been, and there was another time when we were getting together for Susuru when we were at Orlando, and I pull into the parking lot driving my car, and one of the viewers who was like, I knew that was you because I noticed the guy driving the hat gave it away. So yeah, I guess the hat is better. Yeah, I do wash my hat. Thank you very much. I keep very good care of my hat.
Sid hasn't washed his hat in 20 years.
Not since I first bought it in 1988. No.
Actually sentient now.
Actually, Sidious is the hat. I'm just the host that it sits upon.
I hear you.
But yeah, it's and it never really hit my head that it was a branding thing for me. I mean, now of course it does, but like back then it was like, oh, these people are actually being able to pick me out in a crowd because of my hat. It's wild. It's so crazy.
Oh, that's, again, I talked earlier. That's one of the reasons I started wearing Hawaiian shirts all the time. Is I remembered a comedian, is it Gabriel Iglesias?
Yeah.
Who just is like, hey, a fat man in a Hawaiian shirt, it's going to be a party. And I was just like, I mean, that makes sense. So I just, started wearing Hawaiian shirts, and I haven't stopped. The amazing thing for me though is the Hawaiian shirts have just continued to every part of my life now, to the point where people, same thing, even people at work are like, if I'm not wearing a Hawaiian shirt, they're like, what is going on?
Oh, you mean like that one day you came on Discord and you were not feeling it and you were wearing a regular t-shirt and both Des and I were like, uh-oh.
Who are you? Who are you? There's a collared shirt. You have polos? What are you doing?
Oh no, that was before Streamer Troll 2 weeks ago. That's what it was.
Yeah,
and like Des is like, are you gonna change?
Are you gonna change? I can't wear that. You looking decent.
I ended up doing it. And Undesirable Note does bring up in chat that even my bowling team wears Hawaiian shirts, which again amuses the heck out of me.
Perfect.
But yeah, so again, and it's not just what you wear. Like for Des, it's her tagline. I'm Des. For me, like one of my brandings is when I end my stream, I always try to end on like, everybody have a wonderful evening and an even better day tomorrow. Just these little things that you can do that can add some content, add some memorability to your stream. Even in advertising, if you listen to commercials, it may sound ridiculous when you hear this and you think of current commercial building, but honestly, the commercials that are the most effective say the company name and a point of contact at least 3 times.
Remember, if it doesn't say Micro Machine, it's not the real thing.
Yep, something like that. The Liberty Mutual commercials.
Oh my God.
Make it a point.
Okay, so the Liberty Mutual commercials is a literally textbook basic example of fortifying a brand, because they don't have like a super fancy saying. It's literally liberty, 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 liberty.
Yeah.
Just their name over and over again.
It literally is that. Yeah.
But you know what?
God. Oh yeah. You remember it. It works. Absolutely works.
It's like that anime whose theme song I know every single word of.
What?
Big O. It's just Big O. Over and over.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Who doesn't love the Big O?
I'm just saying, that's like every single word of their theme song. It was weird.
For those of y'all who are listening instead of watching, Sid has fallen out of his chair, maybe? I don't know what's happening.
Dead.
He has disappeared from the camera.
We're now accepting applications for a new co-host.
Dude, do you know how many years it is since I've heard about Bigo? And to have a reference like that just come out of nowhere.
Seems very effective.
It's been like 18 years since it was on television, I think.
Oh gosh.
Talks amongst yourselves. I'm verklempt.
But yeah, these. So again, going back on topic. These things that you do, things that you can repeat, things that you can be pretty consistent on. All that does is, like Sid said, it helps reinforce your brand. It really helps people have something that they remember about you.
You were talking about Zealous. You were talking about how when you end your stream, you always try to say, you know, have a nice day, have a good night, whatever. So when I end my stream, it's always thank you very much. Always remember, save early, save often, have a good night. And that's you know, that was the save early, save often thing came from honestly my dad. And when we used to play games, because my dad was a huge D&D player. Not many people know this. He was actually, both my mom and my father were one of the top 10 people to finish the very first computerized D&D game ever.
Oh, cool.
And they have a certificate of that. And you know, with back then, it was always, you know, the dungeon map. So they would actually, with graph paper, as they went through from room to room to room, they would chart out the map. So saving the map was very, very important to them. So, and then when computers rolled around, you know, saving your information, your work that you were doing, because computers weren't perfect back then, was very, very detrimental, because you would spend hours and hours and hours on your work, and then something would happen and the computer would erase it. So, you know, I always grew up listening to him always saying, always remember, save early, save often, save early, save often, save early,
That's
save
cool.
often. So, you know, I've always taken that into heart. And like with my video games, you know, Zelda, these big epic RPG games, save early, save often. When there's a chance to be able to save, always save. So then I've always brought that with me, and that's become kind of my little branding in there.
That's such a really cool story for that too. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
I didn't know it went all the way back to your parents.
Yeah.
Your second generation. Save early, save often. I like it.
Save early, save often.
I like it. But yeah, again, just these little things, these little catchphrases, these little, you know, attention to detail from your stream. Whether it's visual, audio, whether it's, hey, every hour I do XYZ thing. Like every hour I do, you know, I stand up and I, you know, jog in place for a few minutes or do something to exercise, whatever you want to make it. These little pieces that you can add on to the show that become things that people expect can really, really impact your show and help you stand out from a crowd. I think the last one I'll touch on, just because I know people hate it when I don't have it turned on. But I have a command through one of my bots called run. It plays a little jingle, and then I got to get up and run away from my computer. It's not something I really advertise, but the regulars who watch are in the know. They know it exists. And I hear a lot about it when I'm doing streams from my phone or when I'm like in a hotel somewhere, because I don't have it available at those times. And it really does, yeah. Like right now, I'm not streaming Titchery. We're streaming together. This is different. But those again, that event that happens, again, really makes the stream stick out in people's minds, and it becomes something that they expect. So don't be afraid to, because again, that's 100% manufactured. It's something I came up with. I thought would be funny. I threw it out there, and it stuck. So those things, don't be afraid to try to come up with your own things. Sometimes it doesn't have to be something that happens naturally that just you start leaning into and redoing as a meme. You can generate your own meme. And like we said earlier, if it hits, if people like it, hey, keep doing it. If it's something that just falls flat, guess what? It fell flat. Move on to the next thing. All right. Did you guys have any other points to make on what to make to stand out? What to make, what you can do to make yourself stand out?
Hot tub streams.
Very much so. Those are so in the meta right now.
I'm looking into
wild.
it. I'm looking into getting one.
Are you really? Like, seriously?
No.
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 Sid, I had my swimming trunks ready and my car was packed.
No.
I was ready to come down to Florida. I was going to leave my life behind just for the hot tub stream. Either way, it is in the meta right now. If that's where you want to go, I don't blame you. I mean, it gets a lot of viewership. Then the last question I had, and I had never really, even when I got started, I never really looked into this point too much. I looked into kind of targeting where I wanted to advertise, where I wanted to push going live, Twitch. I knew that there's a number of hashtags, and I just kind of threw the hashtags at the wall to see what would stick. But this particular question that comes up, that came up in a review, on a not on a review, but on a website where I was doing some research for this, really hit me in a very significant way, and is going to help me push my promotions in a much more focused direction. Which is, once you've kind of identified kind of who you are, what sets you apart, what do you want your stream, what do you want your brand to be, then a really salient question is, who do you want to have, who do you want your fans to be? And I'll go over why this is significant, because sure, you're going to have people come in through Twitch. You're going to have people come in, they're going to vibe with you, they're going to hang out, and you never know quite who it's going to be, what their background is, where they come from. But there's a saying that has become really, really important to me the past couple of months, that really seems to hit this question hard. And it stemmed from an event at the bowling center. Somebody had gotten sick in the restroom. And my dad always likes to tell everybody, it's everybody's job in the bowling center to clean. Everybody's job to clean. That should be the first job everybody has, is to clean. And on one hand, he's right. It should be, the way the bowling center looks, is it clean? Is it dirty? What's going on? That should be a really important question. The counter side to that, though, is if you don't have, if everybody's expected to clean, then whose job is it when it's to clean? Because as humans, we naturally tend to try to kick the can down the road to the next guy, to the next person. And because of that, that mess remained for Lord knows how long, because we don't know when that person got sick. But I'll just say it was on a day that we closed at 3:00 in the morning. So we have no idea how long that mess was in there. Like, I don't have any provable time to say, hey, this is when it happened.
Yeah.
But that mess stayed far too long, because everybody at the center took it as they were too busy. It's the other person is going to have to do this job.
It's not my job.
Exactly.
Essentially.
Yep. So I've taken that to take the, if you're trying to appeal to everybody, you're really going to appeal to nobody. You're being too broad in who you're trying to push and attract.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, you want everybody to come in and watch, you want everybody to really enjoy, but who's going to see your content and respond to it in a positive light? For example, I don't think the hashtag CSGO is going to be very good for Des's art stream. That's super duper obvious one.
That actually could be negative for her.
Yeah.
That's going to be super negative.
So there it comes down to, again, who do you think your market is? Who do you think you need to appeal to?
Hmm.
And when you go live, where can you post to find those people, to find the folks who are going to be interested in what you're doing? Twitch has added, what are they called? It's not highlights, but they've added categories that you can stream to that people can click on, see who's streaming in specific categories. If you're not using those, definitely start using them. I've had on your tracking, it'll show you who found you by using one of those tags when you go into your Twitch statistics. Same thing, like I said, same thing. Another tool that you can use is there's a tool called Tweetcaster. You can set Tweetcaster to follow specific hashtags. So once you start really thinking down and narrowing down, like, who's my market? Who do I think is going to be the most interested in watching? You can check those hashtags on Tweetcaster and see if what you're offering really applies to what you're doing. Great example of this is there's a hashtag for ATS, American Truck Simulator. But that is also a major corporation, like worldwide corporation is ATS. And when you do hashtag ATS, you get a mixture of those two popping up. It's not a very refined, specific ad or post. It's going to go to two different groups of people that might be watching that hashtag. And you don't know who you're going to get. You're not really going to get that advertising that you're looking for. So, really, again, stuff to kind of look into, like who do you want? Who do you want to follow? If you're really going to be into high competitive games, then you might as well follow and like be really competitive. You're really aggressive. You've got a very competitive personality and you want to be like the top. You might as well follow Dr. Disrespect on Twitter. Anywhere else you move, or Ninja, or any other competitive streamer who's going to be doing major competitive gaming, and comment on their posts. You get to be part of that community. You can participate in that community. Be honest with them, get to know people, because again, that is going to be some directed targeting, because their fans will probably roll over to your fans if you are highly skilled at a game and you're in that top 10% worldwide in that specific game. People will watch you for that. That's not my target. That's not where I'm at. I should really be looking for like old fat people. Should be what I target. But it really is true. Same thing with being a variety streamer. How do you take that variety, which means I do everything, and how can you really bring that down to a point of defining, like, where do I find the people who would want to watch me? So, again, pretty deep topic for what you can do. You are. You're more than a thing, undesirable note. You're a longtime viewer, and we appreciate you.
Truly.
But you're also a thing. In demographics, you have a number.
You
have a number, sir.
What the English language considers a verb.
But so I know I really went on a soliloquy there. Like I really went just kind of on a rant.
How dare you?
Sid and Des, have you guys like taken a look at this particular topic and tried to break it down before, or really ever considered it as something to look at and break down?
Well, we did in season 1, episode 7.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
these things we forget.
Yeah,
It's a group.
all right.
We did it once.
Wow, I knew we broke it down, but I didn't realize it was season 7. Des is like on the ball on like
Episode
the
7.
season.
Yeah,
Right,
no,
episode
one.
7, yeah. It was like, oh yes, season 1, episode 7, 24 minutes in,
Yeah.
24
24 minutes in. I remember it like it's yesterday.
I was actually just you were talking about like channel branding and like the topics of the, and I just remembered because I don't normally go on the main page of Twitch very often, and I got a little distracted, but I noticed that they actually now have a sleep category. It's called I'm Just Sleeping.
Do they?
It's called I'm Just Sleeping. It literally is called I Am Just Sleeping, and I looked it up.
Cat Lily's about to be so surprised.
yeah, and I'm only. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm only sleeping is what it is, and I think there's a game called I'm Only Sleeping, but people are using that category for the sleeping
streams
because the automatic tagline underneath it is called point and click. So yeah, but yeah, and I was gonna bring that up, but I kind of got a little distracted. A little advertisement of Code Miko has a brand new avatar model, and it's
yeah. I saw that. That's pretty cool.
I had to just.
I saw it. She's got it. I haven't seen it yet.
I had to quickly look at that.
Just as a connection to your question as well, is that, and we've talked about it a few different times, but as someone who also does like commission work and is looking, kind of runs a business outside of my hobby of streaming, I'm also very aware of how my presence on stream might affect future clientele at times.
Right.
At least I try to be. I know sometimes I'm like, it's happening. I'm here. I'm live. Whatever. But I have to be aware of that as part of the branding process and as part of the networking process of is who I'm presenting myself as we discussed earlier, and that energy and that parts of my personality. Is that going to change someone's desire to work with me in the future? Is that going to change someone's desire to want to hire me? And so that's something to consider. I've been pushing the commission aspects of my business very much recently, but it's still always there as an option. And just because I'm not focusing on it right now doesn't mean I can stop considering it as an aspect of my stream.
Right. Yeah. All right. Oh.
According to Cage.
The biggest question. Yeah. Well, the biggest question was like, wasn't sleeping streams against TOS? And Kage. I'm sorry, Des. Go ahead.
I was just gonna read what Kage said. So
go ahead.
You can.
Well, I kind of jumped in
February
front of
2021, the rules for sleeping on stream changed, making it once again legal for Twitch streamers to stream themselves sleeping. A streamer is still responsible for anything that occurs on stream and in their chat while they are asleep on stream. So, as we've discussed before in private discussions, if you're going to do that, you really need a great mod or mod team willing to watch out for you and your channel during that time.
Yeah.
I can't do sleep streams. No, that's not going to happen.
Can't do sleep streams?
No. Well, A, my computer is way too far.
Right.
To the bedroom. B, I have a very peculiar set of clothing that I wear specifically for sleeping, so we don't do that.
I think I'm in that same boat as well. Either way. So that covers. So again, that is everything we had. If we look over what we put on here today, again, the questions that we pose to ourselves here today are listed in the Discord under the podcast. And I even have a link to one of the sites that really digs super deep into branding. If you want to look at it on a much deeper dive and professional level. But here, I think we've covered the topics we came here to do.
Yeah.
So where are we at? My brain is dead. We're at the part 2, the official part 2.
I mean,
unless you guys want to bring up some more points or go into some deeper discussions of things we talked about.
I mean, specific for branding. I mean, if you have trouble, like, I don't know, like having a good grip on your controller, the best thing that you could do is probably get yourself some gamer goo, and with a discount code with my name of City67. That's become like it's become like a sponsorship that became a meme. That I no longer. Yeah. I don't have a command for that Dragonfire. Not here. It's not here.
I've considered doing that with there's a couple like gamer coffees that if people people buy them and use your name, you get like $1. You get like $1 or something like that back. I've thought about that a couple times.
I want a protein
'cause I
drink
like
to
coffee.
sponsor me.
Well, I actually I got sponsored by a coffee. Did I tell you that?
Did you?
Yeah,
No,
it's
no.
called-
Which
it's
one?
called- It's called Phineas Coffee.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Oh yeah, no, I remember now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of flavors, but I did try some of them out, and they're not bad. I mean, that's honest. I'm not being paid to
Not
say
bad.
that. It's pretty good.
Yeah,
It's pretty good.
congratulations, Phineas Coffee, sponsored by Sidious. Not bad.
40 years back, wow, I was 1 year old. 1 year old when I
Yeah.
came to your house, cannibalistic.
You were in
Yeah,
that cap.
I was just out of the womb. I had the cap on.
It actually fell off of the doctor's head onto your head, and then it was your hat after that.
Yes, I have been wearing this. I think I've been wearing this cap since I've been 18.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it has been quite a while.
No kidding.
Yeah.
It's held up fantastically well.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I have things for like 2 months and they just fall apart. I've had shirts. I've had Hawaiian shirts that I paid like $40 for. That like just after a little bit of use are like, oh look, it's just threading everywhere.
I'd tell you the brand name, but it's all like washed out. Oh no, it's stitched here. It's a Jackson. Oh my god, they have a website, jacksonhats.com with an X. Jackson. There you go. But yeah, I've been Cannibalistic. I think Cannibalistic has known me longer than anyone here other than Titchery. And I think Titchery met me with the hat too. No, Titchery was before the hat. But yeah, it's been a while.
Wait.
Well, God forbid anything happens, Sid, but they've got some very similar styles still available.
Yeah, no, I've been actually thinking about buying a new hat too, but they're expensive. They can be.
Apparently, they last a long time though.
They do.
I mean, that's worth it. I mean,
this is a true woolen woven hat, Scottish cap.
Fancy.
And I am wearing it backwards, but I mean that's so I can see.
That's the hip thing to do.
That's how you know. That's how you know Sid's a badass.
Well, that's how you know that when it's outside and it's really hot, and then you see me like this. That's how you know it's really bad, because the sun's in my eyes.
They sell freaking pith helmets.
Do they? That's awesome.
Oh, that's wow. Okay, I'm getting distracted. You totally now have just completely.
It's called filling
Welcome to
time.
Senior Toll. What are we talking about?
It's called filling time.
We talked about the topic and then we instantly devolve. So yeah,
It's just called killing time. It's fine.
it's fine.
Yeah. Here. Just feast your eyes on that. There you go.
All right. Sid Des again. I'll ask one more time, guys. Anything specific you want to talk about? Anything upcoming? Anything pressing that's been on your mind here recently? Any new games you've been playing that you want to go over or anything like that?
Yes.
Balloons TD 6. Give that a go. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
If you like tower defense games and monkeys,
especially
Game
monkeys.
especially monkeys.
I mean, it is. It's pretty good.
I myself
It is pretty
have kind of been torn between a couple of games. I stopped playing Horizon Forbidden West mainly because Lost Ark and Elden Ring are in my attention span right now, as well as a brand new game called Core Keeper, which has been a lot of fun. So if you've never played
I've been
Core
watching.
Keeper,
I've been watching you guys play that, and unfortunately, the Core Keeper, I think looks really promising. It looks like it's gonna be a really good building game that you can really make an entire community out of. So I think it's fantastic.
it's like a cross between Stardew and Minecraft and Terraria, basically.
For me, it's just been Elden Ring. Elden Ring has really, for whatever reason, has hit me in a way that I haven't had a game hit me in a long time. And
it's the first Dark Souls game that I haven't completely raged out on yet.
I know, right? I think, again, I think they've taken from
learned.
was it what is the site? Was it Saikuno? Shadows
Sekiro?
died twice.
Sekiro?
Yeah. From Sekiro,
was
Dark
amazing.
Souls. From Sekiro, Dark Souls, and I think they had another like ninja. Yeah, Bloodborne. All those games that are coming out, I think they have really distilled and refined their product and put everything they've learned into Elden Ring, and they've really taken the best things.
Talk about branding! Holy crap!
Yeah,
I mean, you hear From Software, you think Dark Souls. That's because that's all they do is Dark Souls type games.
Now, again, here's the thing: do you remember back in the day? Did you ever play Armored Core?
Not very often, no.
Okay, so it was one of my absolute favorite games on the PlayStation 2 area. Armored Core 2, Armored Core 3. I actually broke my first PlayStation 2 with Armored Core because I don't know if you remember, but they had a massive shortage of save game files.
Oh man,
of the save discs. So my my PlayStation 2 stayed on with that game on.
Oh, that's right.
For like 2 months.
Oh my god, that's right. You couldn't save unless you had a cartridge. I forgot about the cartridges. Oh my god. And those cartridges were life, man. Those things were your life.
So my machine started making some weird noises about the week before I was able to get a cartridge.
Oh no.
It survived long enough for me to save. But I still went and used my GameStop warranty. I was like, this is making weird noises. Give me a new one. And they're like, okay, I guess we have to.
I used to have a PlayStation 2, but in college I had to sell it one summer so I would have gas money.
Oh, don't get me started on gas prices these days. Oh my gosh.
No kidding. So
although it has come down a little bit. I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but it has come down.
That was the summer I lived in my van.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry.
Des has lived a wild and varied life.
Was it down by a river?
No, I usually parked in Walmart parking lot. Well lit, security cameras.
I heard the best places are down by a river.
No, they're not.
I don't think
That's
so.
where you get murder raped.
I don't know why I'm laughing at that. I shouldn't be laughing
dark humor
at
is sometimes cathartic.
It's not something I should be laughing at. All right. Well, I think we hit our mark here.
I think we have. Just like the last time we were trying to end, unfortunately, I have forgotten the planned outro.
I literally wrote it in the notes.
You mean the one that's written down in front of your eyes?
All right, let me try this. If you liked our show today, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe. All right, you guys want me? All right, I'll try. You might try this for real. All right, let's try this for real.
Are we gonna have each of us have a turn?
Oh, do we?
No, I'm just saying, like the whole thing. Go ahead.
I mean, like, oh, we're each gonna take a turn on this.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Okay, cool.
I like that idea. I also like the fact that chat is blowing up over the murder raped. Like it's just become a very quick topic of discussion for chat. So
this is not our new branding. No.
This is not our new brand. This is a meme we must squash.
It's here tonight.
All right, let's see. All right. There we go. All right, everybody. If you liked our show today, please make sure to like, follow, and subscribe. If you want to keep up with our live shows, make sure to follow us on Twitch, on twitch.tv/streamerandtroll. And if you have something you want us to go over, leave it in our comments on Discord, or you can send us an email at streamerandtroll@gmail.com.
Nice.
See,
Need more practice on that.
So much better.
Yes, you want to do it?
No.
Okay. Let's see. Wait, what? Mama Django wants radio voice? Okay.
And Sid about to bring out the butter.
Let's see. Should we do like the high one? It's like or the low one. If you like today's show, make sure you follow, like, and subscribe. If you keep up with us, if you want to keep up with our live shows, make sure you're following us at twitch.tv/streamerandtroll. That's twitch.tv/streamerandtroll. If you have something you want us to go over in the comments, Discord, or email, or what? Or email us at streamerandtroll. The comments are, ooh. Yeah. If you want to have, leave us a comment. Oh my God, I can't read. What the hell is wrong with me? If you have something you want us to go over, leave it in the comments in our Discord comments, or email us at streamerandtroll.com at gmail.com. Wow. Yeah. My dyslexia is really kicking in right now. Wow. I totally fucking failed on that. I mean,
dyslexia?
I'm sorry.
Is that what that was?
I totally failed on that. I'm wearing glasses. I'm wearing contacts right now. But no, right. I actually do have dyslexia.
So we're gonna do deep voice next, you said?
Oh, okay.
Sid, if you want to take that real quick, I'm gonna go. I have to put the dog out. He's losing his mind, but I'll be back in a second.
If you liked our show today, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe. If you want to keep up with our live shows, make sure you're following us at twitch.tv/streamerandtroll. That's twitch.tv/streamerandtroll. If you have something you want us to go over, leave it in the comments, Discord, or email us at streamerandtroll@gmail.com. That's streamerandtroll@gmail.com. Thanks for enjoying the show. Farewell, goodbye, Avita. I already said farewell.
Good night.
If that was good enough, I'm gonna sound clip it and use it on YouTube for other stuff.
See, the sad thing is, if I go my deep voice, I have to have like Careless Whispers playing in the background.
I mean, give me enough time, I can make that happen.
So it'd be like a God, what is it?
Give me like a minute, and I'll get you some background music here.
Oh, thank God! Yeah,
it's gonna be copyright free too. It's gonna be copyright free.
Oh, it's gonna be copyright free too. Oh my God! Give me some good voice there.
Hold on. Oh yeah, I do have music on. Okay, did that, and
now will I be able to hear it in the Discord?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Come on, load. It's loading. Hold on. All right, you ready?
Yeah. Let's go. Let's hear it. Yeah. If you liked our show today, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe. If you want to keep up with our live shows, make sure you follow us on twitch.tv/streamerandtroll. If you have something you want us to go over, leave it in the comments below. Ask us on our Discord, or email us at streamerandtroll.com or streamerandtroll@gmail.com.
Let's take your hand and lead you to the dance floor. The music
This is what happens when we don't get enough sleep.
Oh, we're gonna have to do that at some point. Have Sid sing it in the background and then do like an outro.
Give me feet, I got no rhythm. Though it's easy to pretend, I know you're not a fool. All right, guys. We gotta get out of here. Enough of that.
Just go ahead. I was gonna say you should just have gone ahead and make that the outro for the episode.
Immediately started a
It's like, all right, guys, we gotta get out of here.
All right.
Is this the end of a podcast or the start of some 70s softcore porn? We don't know.
If you wanted the ending, here we go. Hold on.
Yeah, go for it.
No.
Go for it.
Oh no, hold on.
Oh, we got the wrong ending. That's it.
Hi, I'm Des, co-host of Streamer and Troll. If you liked our show today, make sure to like and subscribe. If you want to keep up with our live shows, make sure to head over to twitch.tv/streamerandtroll and give us a follow. If you have something you want us to go over, leave it in the comments, or you can email us at streamerandtroll@gmail.com. Hope to see you soon. Have a good one. Bye. Okay. Okay, bye.